Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. So I'm trying something a little bit different today. Never really tried coffee with this functional mushrooms in the creamer. And so I'm trying this Laird Superfoods instant latte. If you've ever tried it and you like it, drop a comment below, let me know. Also, if this is your first time on the channel, I'm really getting back into my YouTube channel. So if you like the content, subscribe and leave a comment so that others can see what's going on over here. So I tried this today because my wife bought this actually, and I typically wouldn't have even picked this up once I looked at the back and saw the ingredients. Because if you're trying to get into ketosis or you're trying to be trying to have a ketogenic lifestyle, then typically, right, there's about 20 grams a day total that you would really be consuming. Some people can get away with a little bit more depending on how insulin resistant they are, but this is about 18 grams of carbohydrates in it. Now when you look at the ingredients, they're pretty good. So let me just read them off to you. It's coconut milk, coconut sugar, cocoa powder, freeze-dried coffee, sea salt, peppermint oil powder, chaga, I think is how you pronounce that, mushroom extract, monk fruit extract, lion's mane mushroom extract, maitake mushroom extract, cordyceps mushroom extract, and all of that is organic. And but it's still carbohydrates. So if you're trying to stay in ketosis and you're consuming that, then probably one of those is going to maybe kick you out. So if you're trying to be ketogenic, I would steer clear or only do like a quarter cup of that or a quarter of that for one serving, something like that. But what I would do is add, what I usually do, right, is take some black coffee and brew that up and then add in some coconut oil, about a tablespoon of coconut oil. Now, you might hear folks, raging against adding fat like that, like coconut oil or butter to your coffee. But here's the reason, and there's some truth to that in terms of if you want weight loss, right? You don't want to be adding a whole lot of fat, because fat is what you're trying to break down, or trying to get to the point where your body is breaking down its own fat and using that to burning that off so that you're losing weight. But losing weight is not the only reason why you would want to be ketogenic. All right. I started out looking at just losing weight, but I found out real quickly, right, probably about 6 months into the journey. I've been doing the ketogenic lifestyle for 7 years. And about 6 months to a year in, I think it was, found out that the change in eating more fat caused my body to drop the inflammation, or to overcome the inflammation that was associated with sinus infections, sinus drainage, sinuses being swollen, and the respiratory, the lung pathways being clogged up all the time, and having to take asthma medicine and all of that. Getting on the ketogenic diet, increasing that fat to as high as 70-80%, significantly improved that function in me. I mean, to the point where I have, in 7 years, I've not touched one sinus medication. And for 43 years before that, I had all of the sinus medication, the Sudafed, the Claritin, the Flonase, the Nasacort. And you can watch some of my other videos about why I had to get off of Flonase and Nasacort, because they were causing UTIs and all of that. So when you add these concentrated saturated fats like coconut oil and fats like butter, then you increase cholesterol, right? And typically people talk about cholesterol as a bad thing, but cholesterol is very necessary. And depending on who you are and what your makeup is, it may be necessary for you to have it in higher doses. Now, you want to be monitoring that with your doctor and all of that, but I'm just giving you my experience that when I increased the fat, it increased the cholesterol, which also boosted the sex hormones, the progesterone and the estrogen, particularly in me, progesterone, right? Typically those are mentioned or touted when you talk about pregnancy and fertility and all of that. But in men and in women who are having sinus issues, and if you've ever had them, it plagues you. It is miserable. You can increase that fat, and that's going to increase the cholesterol. Downstream from that, you're going to increase progesterone, and downstream from the progesterone, this is the key, you're going to increase the steroids, right? The natural steroids that take care of inflammation in your sinuses and in your respiratory system. I mean, for 43 years, I was walking around with two clogged nostrils. At any point, at any one time, I might have one open. Couldn't sleep under fans, things like that. Walking around, snorting, and if you know, you know, right? And 7 years since going ketogenic, haven't touched a sinus medication since. Both nostrils have been open the whole time and significantly reduced any type of dependence on asthma medication. I mean, I went from using asthma medication pretty much daily, even the nebulizer almost daily, to using it once a year around June. For some reason, it's June is where I may use an inhaler for about a week, and then it's done. It's over. I'm still working on why that's happening and get rid of that, but that's essentially eliminating the need for that medication. So that's why I would suggest. I know I went kind of on a rant there, but wanted to just clarify what I meant by actually using the kind of saturated fats like coconut oil in a concentrated fashion, putting them in your coffee. You do want to monitor that if you are trying to lose weight, right? Because let's say you have 150 grams of body or fat intake every day. You want to that's your target. That's your limit. Then you may, in terms of losing fat, want to turn that back a little bit or pull that back a little bit so that your body can start accessing the fat that's on your body and get rid of that, right? But again, we're not just dealing with weight loss when it comes to the ketogenic lifestyle. I mean, keto has been known to effectively help with things like epilepsy, things like traumatic brain injury. It's a very powerful intervention, and I can tell you it's helped with sinus and respiratory healing as well. You know, so for that fact, I continue to use the saturated fats, the concentrated fats in my diet, right? And I used to track it very closely. Now I know about how much I need and have not added any extra weight or had any complications, right? I have higher familial cholesterol anyway. And when I go to my doctor, they are somewhat concerned, right? And so he asked me to get a calcium score. I went and got the calcium score. It's 0, right? Which means that I'm doing pretty well in terms of, my arteries and things like that. So you definitely want to be monitoring all of those things with your doctor and stuff. But I'm telling you, this is very effective. The coconut oil, the butter, the saturated fats, if you are dealing with chronic illness and disease, that is, I mean, who wants, I don't really, uh, uh, it's a secondary concern. The weight for me is a secondary concern to being able to actually breathe. Think about that, right? If you can't breathe, there is no life. So if you can breathe, then you can get to help working out and exercising and all of those things to help you eating correctly and properly and clean and all of that. And I would say the healthy fats are part of a clean diet. Even the healthy saturated fats are part of the clean diet. That's just me. That's just the way I live. Live your life the way you want to, follow who you want to. But in terms of the fat intake, I'm all about, for my life, the eating healthy, saturated fats to take care of my body. All right, guys. So again, hit that subscribe button if you like this content. If you want, more, leave a comment and check out some of the other videos that I talked about how the fat enabled me to live a higher quality life. It's one of my most popular videos on my site, and I haven't put up a whole lot of videos at this point, but yeah, you can find some helpful information there. And if you are dealing with sinus issues or chronic asthma or anything around your respiratory system, yeah, check in. Let me know, and I'll do everything I can to share and help.